After Xevious, one of the most important games in the shoot-'em-up genre was 1984's Star Force, which pretty much said, dropping bombs is stupid. Let's just shoot everything in sight with no bombs. Star Force was originally released by Tekken. No, not that Tekken. Thankfully, Tekken changed their name to Tecmo in 1986, the year they would begin publishing Famicom games. So like Kung Fu a few episodes ago, someone else took the mantle of porting Star Force, our good friends Hudson Soft, who would make many great shoot-'em-ups on home consoles such as Star Soldier and Blazing Lasers. So did they do a good job? Yeah, it looks and controls like a Star Force game on NES, but I do have some complaints we'll get into later. But the main gist of the game is shooting down waves of enemies as well as several shootable panels on the ground as you travel through space. You travel through sections of space all based on the Greek alphabet, and at the end of a section you'll fight a boss that's just that alphabet character which doesn't shoot back, so it's pretty easy if you don't die from the laser cannons around it. But it's nice to have a pretty easy boss fight because holy hell, this game is batshit hard. It's always flooding the screen with enemies that flood the screen with bullets, and if that wasn't enough, the enemies will rush into you. So most of the time, you're going to be dodging the ships, but in later levels, enemies will start shooting in multiple directions. You are never safe in Star Force. This game is the true description of one ship taking down an entire armada. As mentioned before, the boss fight is pretty easy, but even this mid-boss fight is pretty pathetic too. Its only strategy seems to be to block your path. The only way to lose is not to try at all. Now with all this crap flying over the screen, you think you get some rad power-ups. Well, it's not exactly rad, but it's a breath of fresh air dealing with this mess. It's just pretty much a turbo button. Just hold down the A button and don't die. Whatever you do, do not die. I guess there's one nice thing to mention as well. You'll come across a set of question mark blocks, and if you shoot the right one, you'll get an easy one up, which can be really helpful, especially for this game. So Star Force is way too hard and unbalanced to really recommend in this day and age. I wouldn't say it's awful, and I'm sure it served its purpose, but after better titles like Gradius eventually coming out, Star Force is one game that can be avoided. Oh, sorry, that's my phone. Moshi Moshi? What? For real? You're kidding. Alright, thank you. Well, as it turns out, Star Force on NES is different than the Star Force on the Famicom, when Tecmo themselves published it in 1987, and it's pretty much the better version. It isn't completely different, the game still launches a lot at you, but its speed is a little more tame. The enemies that rush at you now do it at a much slower pace. I wouldn't say it's really worth playing nowadays compared to Xevious, but if you want a more stripped-back shoot-'em-up, check out the Famicom port. If you think some of these really hard shoot-'em-ups aren't hard enough and you really want a tough time, check out the NES version. You people are probably the only people who would be into it.